Now let's get into some real talk. It's time for story time, everyone. Why don't we just dive right on in? Hey guys, welcome to my channel and happy Christmas Eve. 'Tis the night that we wait for Santa Claus to come down our chimneys and put presents under our trees. Yes, I said it weirdly. Just deal with it. Anyways, for this video, what I thought I would do is I would take the top 20 Christmas movies that people talk about and rank them from least to best in my personal opinion. All right? Now, obviously, this is going to be very different from your list, since my list obviously deals with some nostalgia that I might have, where your list might deal with some nostalgia that you might have. So what I thought I would do is I would just name all the 20 Christmas movies that I took from different lists, and then I would start ranking them from least to best. All right, so why don't we dive right on in? So our 20 movies are, now don't mind me, I'm just looking at a list so I ensure I don't miss any, are Home Alone 2, The Muppet Christmas Carol, The Holiday, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Elf, Rudolph, A Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Carol, Gremlins, White Christmas, Die Hard, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original, Love Actually, Christmas Vacation, Christmas with the Cranks, The Santa Claus, Nightmare Before Christmas, the original Home Alone, and Miracle on 34th Street. So I will let all of that digest in for you right now, and then I will start my ranking. All right, so coming in dead last for me is Die Hard. Now, the reason for this is I'm not debating right now whether it's a Christmas movie or not. Honestly, I'm done fighting that battle. There's no fight that needs to happen anymore. I do not care. But the reason Die Hard is last is because when I think of a Christmas movie, I think of how it makes me feel, how it brings that sense of wonderment, that sense of joy, that Christmas spirit, and Die Hard has little to none of that, in my personal opinion. So that's why Die Hard is last. In 19th is Gremlins. Now, I haven't seen Gremlins in quite a bit, so maybe it would touch more on my opinion about it, and maybe it would be ranked higher. But the reason why I put Gremlins there is because, yes, again, like Die Hard, is it a Christmas movie? Sure. But it doesn't have that Christmas sense of wonderment and joy and happiness that it brings, while the other ones do. Because, you know, when you're watching a Christmas movie, you kind of want to feel the warm and fuzzies, or like that, like, sense of community, or different things like that. So that's why Gremlins is 19th. Up next, in our 18th position, is The Santa Claus. Now, I'll tell you why. I've never seen the full Santa Claus movie. I tried watching it, and honestly, I couldn't get into it. I'll admit it. I wasn't a fan. It wasn't my favorite, but I know people enjoy that movie. I mean, listen, there were a bunch of sequels to it, but for me, it just wasn't doing it for me. Up next, in our 17th position, is White Christmas. So again, another movie I've never seen. And what you're probably going to notice is a lot of the ones that I've never seen are obviously going to be ranked lower. And the reason for that is I don't have much to base it off of. But I have seen clips of White Christmas, and it is that classic Christmas, like, music and stuff that truly brings that sense of wonderment way more than the Santa Claus. I mean, White Christmas has its own song. So I put White Christmas in my 17th position. In our 16th position is, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, A Christmas Story. Now, again, a movie I have not seen, but people rant and rave about it and how wonderful it is. I've seen clips of it. I haven't seen everything. Obviously, I know about the leg lamp, and I know about licking the pole in the dead of winter and getting your tongue stuck to it. But that's really it for that movie that I know. But a lot of people say how great it is. So that's why it's a little higher than all the other ones I haven't seen. So now we'll be actually getting into movies I have seen. So in our 15th position, we have Love Actually. And the reason for that is it's one of those classic love stories where there's a lot of stories going around and happening all at once. But with Love Actually, when you watch it, it's sad. It's depressing. I mean, Emma Thompson's being cheated on, and that whole thing with Keira Knightley and the guy holding the posters outside after she's been married because he loves her, but she's married to his best friend. That whole thing is just horrible. So that's why Love Actually is in my 15th position. Right after that, in our 14th position, we've got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I'll tell you why. So, yes, it's a classic. Yes, it has a song. But with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I find that Rudolph is annoying. Rudolph just gets on my nerves. He's kind of whiny. His father treats him like garbage. Santa Claus could have treated him nicer. Like, we know Santa's like, oh, nice and caring near the end. But like, Santa Claus is supposed to know everything. And he let all those other reindeers and his father treat him like trash? How fair is that? So that's kind of why it's there where I've ranked it. And our 13th position is A Miracle on 34th Street. Now, this could be the original, or this could be the newer version of it. Either one works for me. I've seen both. And the reason it's better than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, in my opinion, is because it doesn't get on my nerves. Honestly, that's really it. It has that cute moment where it's like we're trying to prove that Santa is real, and just all around, it's a feel-good movie. Up next in our 12th position is The Muppet Christmas Carol. Now, I've only seen The Muppet Christmas Carol for the first time last year, so I didn't grow up with it. But I know a lot of people really liked that movie and really enjoy it and watch it every year. And there's no shame in that, in my opinion. Honestly, any of the movies that I'm talking about, if that's a movie that you watch all the time and it's low on my list, who cares? It's whatever makes you feel happy. But with The Muppet Christmas Carol, since I grew up watching the original, watching another version of A Christmas Carol isn't really going to work, right? Like, there's multiple renditions of A Christmas Carol. We know all about them, and usually you stick with the one you've watched since growing up. So that's why A Muppet Christmas Carol is ranked in my 12th position. In my 11th position is National Lampoon's A Christmas Vacation. This was another movie that I watched recently. I think for the first time. I may have seen it when I was younger. And it's funny, it's cute. It's your typical National Lampoon vacation story. This one's just in a Christmas setting. It has comedy. It's silly. You think it's going to have more to it, but it doesn't. But then it does. With like the whole bonuses and the pay. And then obviously the uncle showing up in his trailer and all that stuff. So it's a good watch, but didn't make it in my top 10. So now we're getting into my top 10 movies. So coming in 10th place, we've got The Holiday. Now, The Holiday, I find such a nice movie because when we watched it and they did like that vacation home swap or something, it was like that all of a sudden was something people want to do. They're like, that would be so much fun. I would like to do that. But then also it's kind of creepy and weird. But this was obviously before the times of Airbnb. And the two storylines are very beautiful. Jack Black and Kate Winslet just have like a cute chemistry together. And then you throw Cameron Diaz with Jude Law. That's another great chemistry moment, in my opinion. So that's why The Holiday is in my 10th position. In my 9th position is A Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, people obviously constantly debate if this is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. I think it can be both, in my personal opinion, because it touches on Christmas and it touches on Halloween. People that know me well know that I like spooks and creeps and stuff like that. So A Nightmare Before Christmas touches on that. The claymation and the stop motion is fantastic. The music is beautiful, but it also kind of gets a little annoying at times. We've heard the story how many times? Jack wants to do something different. Jack goes to Christmas Town, and then he thinks he can do better. But it is a good story, all in all. The music's wonderful. And one of my favorite songs is the one that's sung by Sally, who's voiced by Catherine O'Hara. In my 8th position is Elf. Now, people might be surprised by that since Elf is such a popular movie, and it is a good movie. I just have other movies that I prefer more. Honestly, I can't say anything bad about Elf. I mean, he's the GIF that everyone uses the minute it turns like November or December, where it's like, Santa's here, it's Christmas. Elf is usually brought up at that time. So Elf is a pretty good movie. In my 7th position is Christmas with the Cranks. Now, not a lot of people tend to pick this movie as one of their go-tos or their favorites. It's my personal go-to. I think it's very funny. It's very cute. You know, people trying to skip Christmas, Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis. And then their daughter ends up coming back for Christmas. So they have to try and get everything together and throw a wonderful Christmas party. It has that Christmas spirit that I love. Also, it has silly comedic moments. And for me, it's an all-around feel-good movie. In my 6th position, I have A Charlie Brown Christmas. Now, everyone knows this story. And if you don't know this story, you at least know about the tree with the single ornament on it while it's bent down. This movie or TV special, whatever you want to call it, is very nice. The music at the beginning with the skating and them singing Christmas time, Lioness's speech, the kids at the end wishing Charlie Brown a Merry Christmas. It has all the it factors that you're wanting in a Christmas movie or series or show. So that's where A Charlie Brown Christmas is for me. Okay, now we're in our top 5 movies that I enjoy. And I won't have anything really negative to say about these. So I'm going to try and not touch too much on them, but I probably will still. In my 5th position, I have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original. We all enjoy that story. It's about this mean grump. I mean, I'm wearing the t-shirt, and it's just about a mean grump that doesn't like Christmas, doesn't like Whoville, and tries to steal Christmas, but then his heart grows 3 times as big. And it's just sweet all around. So that's where How the Grinch Stole Christmas is for me. In my 4th position, I have Home Alone, the original, the first one. Home Alone is a movie that I grew up watching every year. My dad's a huge fan of the Home Alone movies, so I've grown up with it. Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin. It's just a classic movie, and it has adventure, whimsy, silliness to it, but also that Christmas feeling of you just want to be with your family. In my third position then would be Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. The reason I chose Home Alone 2 over Home Alone 1 is because I just personally enjoy Home Alone 2 more. It's in the New York setting, which I always enjoy New York. Also, it has that toy store that I always want to go visit and play in like one of those houses like the robbers do. And that apartment building he climbs into looks super cool. And it just has those New York Christmas destinations that you check out, like Rockefeller Center with the tree or Central Park. It's just all around really nice, and we all know about the Bird Lady. In my second position, I have It's a Wonderful Life. Now, I'm not saying it's my favorite movie, like one of my favorites, but I ranked it so high because of the story and the message it has behind it. It's such a beautiful story. It's that classic, what would happen if I wasn't alive? There's the guardian angel, and every time you watch it, I bet you cry. You have to cry when you watch that movie. It is so beautiful. And we all know that when a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And my number one movie, and I think it might have been obvious since you heard me talk about the Muppet version, is A Christmas Carol. The 1951 version, actually, with Alistair Sim. Now, that movie is a traditional movie that my mom grew up watching, and then she had me grow up watching it as well, since that was her tradition. So it's become a family tradition to watch it every Christmas Eve. So I'll actually be watching it tonight. And I just really enjoyed the Christmas Carol story. It's a classic, and I find Alistair Sim's acting in it really fantastic. And there you have it. That was my 20 Christmas movie rankings. Now, again, you might not agree with where I've ranked everything, and that's completely fine. It's Christmas time. We all have our own opinions, and we have movies that are near and dear to our own heart, and that's completely fine. But these were the movies that I found had a big impact, and I chose to rank them how I like them and how they have an impact on me. Now, obviously, some honorable mentions that I probably didn't include was Frosty the Snowman, and then the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, and both of those are really fantastic too. I just couldn't add more and more and more and more, and I wanted to have a bit of a diverse film selection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wish you all a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your favorite Christmas movie is. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.